What's up, everybody? I got to talk to real fan Dan Roquan Smith and Teddy Buchanan yesterday. I'm going to be posting some more clips and have been posting clips on my socials from these interviews. Unfortunately, the audio is not great. My sister was filming. My mic, I didn't have my mic with me, which I will next time. And the good news is there will be a next time. But I feel like, first of all, it's still very good and very solid. I think the conversation is very interesting. A lot of Ravens fans, I hope and think, will enjoy it. So enjoy this conversation with Roquan Smith. Sorry about the audio, but it's the best we can do for now.
All right, it is now time for the main event here. In the last 3 years, there are 3 players who have made first team All-Pro each of the last 3 years. Chris Jones, Fred Warner, and this man right here, Agent Zero, Roquan Smith.
Wait, Josh.
Here he is. All right. So, your time in Baltimore is really interesting because we didn't draft you, we didn't sign you, we didn't even trade for you in the offseason. It was pretty much right now, a couple years ago. You come to Baltimore. What has it been like? How has this city embraced you? Is it similar to Chicago? Or is it totally different? What's it been like?
Yeah, no, it's kind of crazy. I was actually talking about that with a couple guys earlier who's in the sauna, and I was like, it's crazy. Like today, like a couple years ago, I got here. So it's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy thinking like that. But no, it's a great city. You know, a lot different than Chicago. 2 unique cities in their own way. Baltimore, I grew up in a really small town, so Baltimore feels more like that for me, like a small town, very down to earth, a lot of down to earth people, and obviously been playing great football ever since the organization been an organization. So got a great deal of respect for the city, the fans, and yeah, I love being here, man.
And I'll tell you, there is a thing that you can't even describe, but it's been a thing. Ever since Harbaugh got here, he's had the play like a Raven thing. And there isn't even, I mean, there's a couple things, but to me, you can't even describe it. You just know it when you see it, like, that guy's a Raven. It took 1 quarter. I was like, that's a Raven right there in every way. And you've seen it. You were great in Chicago, but I feel like you've taken your game. You're the first team All-Pro 3 years in a row. I mean, do you feel like your game took a step up, or do you think you just get more recognition? What is it?
I think a little bit of both, man. I think, honestly, being surrounded by so much more talent, like a lot of great deal of respect for everybody I played with in Chicago, but like everybody in Baltimore is like a way more talented team. So like when you're on a way more talented team, you don't have to do as much, or feel like you have to do as much. So I think that plays a crucial part.
So, is there a moment? And I know we all know there's that one moment that could come in February this year that would take it. But as of now, is there a moment that stuck out to you, like that's the highlight of your career so far, or is there?
I got everyone feeling lit, don't worry.
And I would say the highlight of my career, NFL career so far outside of getting drafted, was probably coming to Baltimore, like being here, like and just knowing what it means to play as a Raven and then just play for this organization. So like, I would definitely say that.
Love it. So, you are an old school type of player. I feel like there's only a handful that could play back then with like Ray's era and hit. 2 questions actually. First, because I've heard people ask this, and like, could you play in the old era? Would you be better? Would you be worse? Do you think with the old rules, you would be better than you are now? You think?
Man, I think there would be a lot more, less penalties, but I definitely think the game would be played similar to how it was played years ago. But great deal of respect for everybody who came before me.
Yeah. What was it like getting to meet Ray? Have you ever met him before you came here?
Actually, I met Ray one time when I was actually coming out of college. Like my last year in college, he was hosting like a linebacker camp seminar or whatever, and it was like I went down. It was somewhere in Florida, IMG, and so I went down there. It was like really cool just to be able to sit down in the room with him. Like he was just breaking down film in front of like all the high school linebackers, and then going out on the field doing drills as well. So it was pretty sweet.
What is it? There's one of my favorite thing, the Ravens movie team was awesome, but they put out a lot of cool stuff. And one of my favorite things I've ever seen them put out was you and Ray in a room just watching film. What was that like? Because what we saw was sick, but I'm sure what they didn't post was even cooler. What was that like?
Yeah, no, I got a great deal of respect for Ray, obviously the best to ever do it, and like the guy's just fierce, intense, like all the time, and just like how well he knew his opponents inside and out, and how well he can just break down film. It's something I still admire to this day, just like watching him break down things, and I'm like, man, I've been playing for a little while and understand a lot of different things and concepts, but like seeing Ray do it is like almost like him riding a bike.
So I asked you this back here, and I think it's interesting because, let's be honest here, especially if you're around my age, we haven't seen the Ravens do really anything other than be pretty close to the top for my entire life. But I did some research, and I looked, I said, your time in Chicago, and there was, in 2020, you were on the Bears that lost 6 games in a row, and you were able to rebound, you were able to make the playoffs. Was there anything from that you took as a leader to this team? Like, hey, I've been in this position before. You can do it. In our schedule, I mean, you won't say it, but I'll say it, it's easy. So I like our chances. But was that a thing for you that you referenced?
I didn't, honestly, thinking about it, we were, like, here being in Baltimore, we're a way more talented team than what we were when I was in Chicago. So with all due respect to everyone I played with in Chicago, but I just think, like, the mindset of the guys inside of the locker room right now and currently is like, hey, like, we know we have the pieces, but it's about going out and doing it consistently. And I feel like each and every guy has picked that up to another level and playing to their potential week in and week out. And it's not about quarter. This is about each and every play. And I feel like that's something that's being echoed right now. And each and every guy has to look themselves in the mirror. And like what I've been saying is lock your jaw. So like lock your jaw and prepare for whatever and be willing to put your face in the fan by any means necessary and be willing to lay it on the line for the guy next to you.
Yeah, if you don't believe in the Ravens now, after that, I don't know what to tell you. But, it's amazing the difference that having no games in the locker room next round. No, just kidding. But before you, we had Teddy, who has been balling. He's leading the team in tackles right now. You two are tied for the team leading tackles for loss. We had a really solid player in PQ. And I feel like when we lost him, something was missing. I feel like we got that guy now in Teddy. Do you feel that way? Just, he's a guy. He really is. He's good.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I got a great deal of respect for Teddy, the way he approaches the game. And like I've told people before, like where he's at as a rookie, like I wasn't that way until like year 2, year 3, just his understanding of concepts and things of that nature, and just the way he plays the game. He's a physical player, and I think he's just gonna continue to keep getting better. And like I'm excited for his career, and I know he is as well. And I know he's gonna continue to stay hungry and want more for himself.
So you talked about Chicago and how it wasn't always the same talent. You come to Baltimore. I don't know, how much did you practice before that Saints game? Like when we got you? Did you practice like at all? Because I knew you played pretty much immediately. So did you get to practice before that?
Yeah, it was pretty crazy, man. So it was Monday, which today is a Monday. It was Monday when it happened. They tried to get me on the flight that same night, but I was like, it was so much mentally to process. So I was like, I was just saying to myself, I can't do it. Like, I'm saying I can't take a flight tonight. So I took the next flight. I think it was a 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. Southwest. Came on in the BWI.
Yeah, the Ravens didn't send like a plane? That's crazy.
No,
Come on, EDC, send a plane.
Hey, I was fine with the Southwest though. Like Southwest, great. Got on in.
Shout out Southwest.
Yeah, shout out. And then came in Tuesday. I was meeting with Zach Orr. He was the linebackers coach at the time. So I went up and met with him for like a couple hours that day. And like, it's like cool. Then had practice Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday's like a glorified walkthrough in a sense. And like after that, it was like, hey, strap it up and play. So I just went out. There was sometimes I was assuming what to do, but at the end of the day, I was just like, just to go try to find a football.
Yeah. The reason why I asked you that though is you get to Baltimore. You've had up and down success. And you look across the field and there's a guy in a number 8 jersey that's now your teammate. What is it like having Lamar Jackson as your teammate and just, yeah, what is that like?
he makes it look easy, man. Like, and I'm glad that I'm actually his teammate and not going against him because, like, the type of challenges he presents week in and week out to different opponents. I like ask some of my guys across the league, and I know what they say. So, yeah, I'm just glad he's my teammate, and I don't have to try to tackle him or read him or anything like that. Because sometimes even in practice, I'm like, and he's not even like serious.
You can't tackle him at that either.
Yeah, he's not even that serious at practice, and I can just only imagine when he's like really serious and the things he does in the game. So, great deal of respect for him, and he's gonna go down as one of the greatest ever.
I forget who it was, but I'm remembering on Marlowe's podcast, someone came on, it was one of the players in the defense. And he's like, I love Lamar, but if I'm going to be totally honest with you, it was some player who had like only spent his career in Baltimore. He was like, I love Lamar, but if being honest with you, if there's one quarterback in the NFL that I want to sack, it's Lamar Jackson. Do you feel that way? Like, just secretly? Because you can't touch him. Is there any part of you, not in like a malicious way, but like in just one time, I see it in your face.
No, that's the franchise. Yeah. I'm good without touching him.
I know, not in a malicious way.
Yeah, I don't want to touch him.
Yeah.
We need him. We need him.
Exactly.
I may not be here.
Exactly. Yeah, that's popped in my head. Zach Ward, you came to Baltimore. This is going to show my age, but when I was first getting into it, was that year that Zach Orr had before he had to retire, where he was all pro. He was a second team all pro, I think. That season, he was a special teamer for a couple of years. He comes in, for whatever reason, they put him next to CJ, and he's better than CJ that year. He was all pro, and then something happened with his neck, and he had to retire. And you've now seen him. He came in, he was the linebackers coach. Now he's the DC. He's younger than Kyle Van Noy. What is it like having him as a DC and seeing, I think, the improvement? I really do. I think he's struggled a little bit, but I think he's gotten better. I really do. Especially in the last couple weeks. I saw it last season too. What has it been like for Zach Orr?
Yeah, no, I got a great deal of respect for Zio, as we call him. Like, just his approach, week in and week out. He never wavers, never changes who he is based on the circumstances. Like, he living vision, not circumstances. Despite like last year, even this year, starting out like how the defense was struggling, and at the end of the day, I think it goes down to the players actually playing, because like when you truly look at it, and when we watch film, like yeah, some things can be better here and there. Nobody is perfect, but it's like okay, as a player, okay, I should be here, so why am I not here? Right. Like little things like that, and I think that's something like collectively, each and every person like doing your 111, and like we preach that, and he preaches that as well, and like just his approach, man, his mental approach, and just knowing what the game mean to him, and just knowing when the game is taken away from you when you care so much about it, and then it's like, oh, now my career is completely over. And so I think he just tries to live through us, and our passion carries over. So yeah, I'm excited for him. He's going to have a stellar career as a coach, very young in the game, and he's just going to continue to grow.
Yeah. It's very interesting. I see it now. Just so young. I mean, I think the growing pains are real, but he's doing a good job, and I think it takes a lot to see someone who did struggle, and we saw last year, they went from, it took us longer last year. Last year it was, week 10, week 11 before things started turning around. Now it was, week 5, and you've already seen it. Do you think it was something, you said those little things, do you think it was that simple, the issues on the defense? That those big plays, you think it was something just as small as like, oh, well, I wasn't there? Like, you think it was that?
It was like, believe it or not, man, like, I would never throw anybody under the bus, but like, on like each and every play, there would be like somebody's job that's supposed to do one thing and like don't do it. And like 10 people can do the right thing, but then one person don't, it can truly cost you, like regardless of like your position. And like some positions are highlighted more than others. So it's like, yeah, it's a lot of times. So I think it just came down to that, just someone not doing their job. That's what it really boiled down to.
You see, I don't get to do stuff like this very often, so I'm going to take a second to ask something from the perspective of a 5'4", unathletic kid who never played football that I would love to hear from you. Is, what is something that someone like me, who never played football, I've always loved it ever since I was like 10. I was like, I got into it, I've always wanted to do this. Here now, doing all this. What is something that you think that we, the fans, don't see, that you guys see, because you guys played? Is there specific stuff that just you don't get unless we play?
Yeah, I think that would probably go down to knowing what someone's job is, play in and play out. Like, because sometimes to the naked eye, to a fan, it can be like, oh, I think I know this, and this person's supposed to be here and doing that, when it could just be someone else not doing their job and then another person trying to do something. Or so I think it more so comes down to that, like maybe on this play it's like, oh, this guy's supposed to be covering this person, but in reality this other dude probably messed up, and it's like, oh, but it just looked like it could be someone else. So I think that's like the biggest thing outside of like somebody just being in man-to-man coverage,
Right.
or like somebody just getting blown off the ball. Those things are easier to see, but I think when it comes down to like the concepts and the terminology based on each and every defense and how like the little small things are different.
Because there's a whole group of us. I mean, in Baltimore, I think I'm one of the bigger ones, but there's so many influencers online that love football, and not a lot of them played, a lot of my friends, and you aren't very active on social, like Kyle and Marlo. Do you guys ever see like those film breakdowns and go, they don't know what they're talking about? Has that ever happened?
I'm not active on social, so
Yeah.
like I have Instagram.
The group chat though, someone sends something, who like,
That's more DBs. They more so talk a lot. Like us
Shocking.
linebackers, we don't really do all that. Talking and things of that nature. So that's more like DBs, Kyle, Marlo. That's something those guys all enjoy. Cause like, yeah, I haven't had Twitter. I got rid of Twitter like years ago or whatever like that. So like, but yeah, you definitely hear about it from like certain guys. They'll be like, oh man, this person think this, that, and the third. But like, to each his own. And like, I guess Twitter gives everybody opportunity to voice themselves. So yeah.
I'm being told to wrap this up, so I'm gonna ask you one thing, and that is, you got the flock right here. Is there a message that you have to the flock about the
tell me
season,
that every day.
the way it's gone, and where it's going?
Bye.
No, yeah.
Bye.
First and foremost, got a
Love
great
you.
respect for everybody with the flock, and just knowing how passionate the fans are here in Baltimore, and like how guys show up week in and week out. And I would just say, just buckle up. We're on our way, and it's just one week at a time. And Minnesota is up next, and that's what we're all to.
Ready?
So,
Agency roll. Roll, Smith.